Hasselites, talk to me. Yeah. Welcome everybody to this WWE edition of Hassel's Review. So everybody knows, since the Hassel was a young lad, a young little Hassel, so to speak, I have been a pro wrestling fan. And not just pro wrestling, but even sports and entertainment, so to speak. So it goes without saying that your boy has always went in for the pro wrestling fig, and even still has a few of the old schools today as well. So anytime that WWE puts out retro figures, well, I won't say anytime, but the majority of the time, when they put out a good retro figure, your boy goes in. So it went without fail when the Amazon exclusive that's sitting right here beside me went on sale of the Gobbledy Gooker and what could have been potentially the Eggman, known as the Undertaker, went on sale. I had to go in for it. So as you can tell, looking at my walls and things of this nature, I don't have a lot of current figures. As far as I buy from the current lines. I do not buy current superstars. I stick with the old school, the retros, the ultimates of the old school, the throwbacks, so to speak, with the exception of a handful of AEW guys, Cody Rhodes, and a good old KO, because, for obvious reasons, which I did KO. He's pretty badass. Anyways, even if he didn't love the Hassel. But, so, with the exception of those few guys, I typically stick to the old school WWE guys. And I have a ton, and this is just some, of the legends. I really like the Elite line. I thought the Elite line was really great, but the Ultimates have just took it up a notch. They have really, Mattel, I will give them a lot of credit. Mattel has stepped their game up with the Ultimate WWE Ultimate line, and I do love the fact that they do a shit ton of the legends and from various eras. So let's dive into this bad boy right here. So upon getting my box in the mail this morning, I was a little perturbed because my local postal service sucks fucking ass. So literally, I got a box yesterday. If it was my daughter's, it was crammed in my mailbox, crushed one in. As you can tell from some of the past videos, your boy Hassel ain't had really good luck when it comes to postal service. So, and it's typically the post office that does these sorts of things, with the exception of FedEx, who was a dick about 2 weeks ago, my big bad toy store order, who turned it up a long ways on the step, just out from under the edge of the house, and it rained that day. Yeah, we got those guys. They only make $30 an hour. I can see is why they'd be pissed off and not want to do their job. Anywho, so when I got my box this morning, it was a little bent on one end. I was like, oh man, come on. I could hear it shuffling around on there a little bit, and I was like, man, they didn't even put bubble wrap, nothing in there. However, thankfully, these WWE Ultimates, when you order them through a third party like Amazon, or whether it be Ringside Collectibles, like with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes I got a few weeks back, they do take the initiative to put a Mattel cardboard, kind of like you see when you they're stocking your Walmarts or your Targets or such. They come in something of this area. So it's like, okay, thank you. So my box was protected. Crack it open, and right off the rip, the nostalgia rushes in, because you see that old school Survivor Series. And I'm like, oh man, this is neat. Slide it on out, and the box deco, as you can tell behind me, it looks great. It has that old school VHS box art look to me, even though it's got a Gobbledy Gooker on there, and it wouldn't have, your typicals from that era there, with your Dusty Rhodes, Mac and Dwayne, baby, or Hogan, or Macho Man, or any of those, the $1 Million Man. Man, I'm getting nostalgia hard on right now, so I may have to watch some old school wrestling today. However, it has that old school VHS box look. So we put it up on the turntable, give it the old 360, and man, it looks great all the way around. I was really impressed with the box. The one thing I did notice, they sealed it. They taped this bad boy up. So when I got the new generation ring last year, that was one of the things. The initial box is sealed, but once you delved into it, the Ultimates that came inside, they were not sealed. However, they did do that this time. So when I opened the box, and you immediately look and you see, you know, the mystery box, you know, because that was the big play on the Survivor Series that year in 1990 was what's inside the egg, what's inside the egg. And, you know, when Mark Calloway, who was Mean Mark at the time of WCW, got his call up from WWF to say, hey, would you like to come be with us? He was terrified he was going to be the Eggman. Because Vince was pretty bad with shit like this. I mean, if something was creepy or weird to him, or if you once ate 3 scrambled eggs, you might have been the Eggman. Who knew? Or maybe you needed a plumber and hated to pay the fucking bill, so next thing you know, hey, you're the plumber. That's just how Vince rolled back in the 90s. It is what it is, people. So there was this mystery egg, and you get the mystery thing there, and it's like, okay, this is cool. Pull them out of the box, and I noticed, one of the first things I noticed is there's these little cardboard sleeves is in between there. And at first I thought that they were like protectors to keep the front of the figure from scratching the see-through portion of the plastic. Because I will say that is one of the few very big negatives from Big Bad Toy Store when I order an Elite from them or an Ultimate, either one. For whatever reason, every time I order one from them, the plastic sleeve that is see-through, which makes it not, you know, windowless packaging, which is scuffed all to hell and back. My Andre the Giant is right here somewhere. He is this way, and it doesn't bode well with the Hassel. I like a good pristine thing. So I thought, hey, go, we got these protectors between there. That's pretty cool. No. These are diorama cardboard cutouts. So on one side, you have the classic brick wall, which was behind all the Survivor Series teams in the promos back in the day. You would have this brick wall, and they, you know, cut their promo, like the infamous promo of the Ultimate Warrior walking around the rockers and Jim Neidhart, you know, taping them up the entire time. I mean, just things of this nature, or the Dream Team, or, you know, the Millionaires Club, or whatever, the Hulkamaniacs. You had this brick wall behind them. So I was like, holy shit, that's pretty cool there. And flip it over to the other side, and you have an 80s/90s audience, Survivor Series logo in the corner there. So you could set that up if you want to pull them out of the box, set your egg there, and have your Gobbledy Gooker busting out of the egg in front of a live audience. Or what I'm probably going to do myself is, as you can see, I have the new Gen arena, at least the entrance behind me. I have not set up the ring yet, but I do have the entrance behind me. I have thought about putting one on each side so that you have that crowd illusion behind there, because that would look really cool. So if I do that, I may have to move it from there and have actually much more suitable setup. As I'm getting my man room flashed out a little better, I'm actually becoming pretty happy with what I have. I have to mount Freddy to the wall today. I have a Freddy that will bust out of the wall, so that is being mounted today. I'll probably post pictures of that on the socials, probably on the Instagram and the face page and Blue Sky, Twitter, or X, whatever the hell it is now. Who knows? But I regress. Well, there'll be pictures. So I'll probably have a different setup pretty soon. And if I do, I'll post pictures for you guys. But first thing I noticed when I pulled the figures out of the box, they looked amazing. Even the Gobbledy Gooker. The Gobbledy Gooker, for Christ's sakes, looks good. I was like, he's very true to form. He looks like what you would expect of the old Gooker. I mean, he not cool enough to pull out of the box, so to speak. Now, that was the thing I noticed. They were taped. And like I said, with the new Gen ring, they were not. Diesel and Doink, neither one were taped. Now, I never pulled my Doink out of the box. I actually sold Doink or made a trade with a fellow for a Ultimate Bret Hart, the very first edition Ultimate Bret Hart, because at that time the figure was going over $200 a piece, and Doink and Diesel were going for about $200. So I knew I didn't have no desire for Doink, so we made what I thought was a fair trade. And now shortly thereafter we get the Best of Ultimate line, which looks exactly like the first fucking figure. The only difference is, if you look minusculely on the back, there is a stamp that says 2023 versus 2020, I believe is when the first Ultimates come out. So I was really pissed, even though there is a difference, there isn't, if you just wanted him because you wanted that figure. That's definitely the way I went with the Ultimate Warrior from WCW, because I'm not paying $180 for a loose Warrior Yeah, that's right, a loose warrior. When I can just drop 32 bones for Big Bad Toy Store and get the old WCW warrior from the One Warrior Nation. But that's an episode for a different day. So I did notice they were taped up, and I'm like, shit, now I can't open them. Because even though I opened the box they came in, the Ultimates themselves, I am going to leave MOCAF. So they are going to stay in there, but they do look really, really great. Looking at the Undertaker himself, he's a little hard to capture a picture on because he's such a dark presence himself and figure, and they've done a really great job of, you know, getting the purple around the eyes and the look that he had with the, you know, the just coming out of the mullet that he had as Mean Mark when he was doing little heart punches back in the day. So they've done a really good job with that. So he's really hard to kind of get a picture of, but he has two heads, and he has, you know, the just stoic look of him walking to the ring. And he has them big bug eyes, like when he's turning to put the old choke on the Mac and Dweem in the corner there, if you will. So I was like, holy shit, that's pretty cool. I did like the fact that they went the extra mile. He has the black gloves that he had in the debut and in his first few matches and whatnot. But they have the option there, if you do open, to where you can put the gray gloves on him. There's a set of gray hands, as well as when you pull the hands off, you can, the portion that comes up through here is a little sleeve that just slides off, and you can put the gray sleeve on, put the gray hand on, and you've got gray gloved OG 90s Undertaker. So that right there, I was like really impressed. That he got the tie that comes on and off, the trench coat, the hat, the works. It looks really great, and I'll be honest, I may have went on Target.com, because if you go on Target.com right now, they got Brother Love on sale for $13, player. So I might have had to go online and get me a $13 Brother Love. Brother Love, I love you with the Book of Love. So I did go get one of those. And actually they have the Reborn Undertaker on there, where he first come back as the, you know, what is it, when he was battling Mankind, when he transitioned from Purple Glove Undertaker to whatever you want to call, you know, the getting out of the new generation into the Attitude Era Undertaker, where he has the sleeveless coat, the Western style hat, so to speak. They do have him on there as well for $13. For some reason they are marked as pre-orders, but for half off, I'll buy it as a pre-order and wait a couple weeks and just let them send it to me, because hey, it's money in the bank, player. I got both of those figures together for what one of them cost. So hey, you can't beat that with a stick this long. So that being said, I'm really happy with what I got here today. Super pumped. I don't know where I'm going to put it in display. As you can see, a little full right behind me on the show level. I do have Hogan and Macho and the Mega Powers. They're a little more displayable. So these guys, since they will be staying in the box, I'll probably find a shelf somewhere in here to put them on, but they do look great. I highly recommend it. It's worth the $80. It does have an $80 price tag, but you do get free shipping from Amazon. So there's that. So keep that in mind. That's one of the things that offsets some things with Amazon for me, is the free shipping, because that's what, nothing sucks and worse than getting a deal on a figure just to have it swept out from under you with fucking shipping and handling. So there's that. While we're at it this week, I did receive my Mafex Steel in the mail that I also got from Amazon. And I will say it's a really great figure. I caught it from a third-party buyer on Amazon. The figure typically goes for about $100, and I got it for 80, I want to think it was. Monster could correct me on that, because he actually sent me the link to the store that showed me where it was on sale, because I have the Mafex Return of Superman Cyborg Superman, and I really liked him. I have a few of the Mafex. Sometimes I find them hard to justify the $100. However, $80, and now that the Eradicator's coming out, I was like, shit, I have to have all of them. I was like, time I instantly seen the pre-order go up for the Eradicator, I was like regretting not getting Steel. And then Monster's like, hey, but wait, there's more. My boy Monster, who I also co-host the Nerdy Man Room show, shameless plug, catch us everywhere. He always is on top. When he's not ruling the world as Cobra Commander and off, you know, plotting the mass device, he stays on top of his action figures. He can let you know where the best deal is for everything. So if you ever need an action figure, drop our boy a line. He can let you know where to go, where to find it, and typically where the best price is, because this man right here is an evil genius, not only with Cobra, but with money and action figures. So there's that. Hit him up sometime. He'll definitely love to talk to you and give you some action figure advice. But still looks great. The only flaw I have with the figure itself is the flight stands for Mafex fucking below. They suck. They're fucking terrible. I hate them. So I'm going to have to find a different flight stand for him. The one for Cyborg Superman, he's loud enough. It kind of works. Still is a bulkier figure. So he has some really cool effects that go for the rocket boots to make it, you know, where he can fly. That looks really good. However, trying to put it on a flight stand, it looked terrible. No matter how I done it, I was only able to do it one way, and I'll post a picture where you could actually maybe possibly, but there was no way around it. It just looked fucking awful. So I pulled him out of the flight stand and I just put him there, gave him the sludge hammer. He's holding it up. He's ready to fucking wreck shop and wait on the return of mullet-headed Superman to get here, who I will say I did not go in for the Mafex black suit Return of Superman, even though it does look great. The 1.0 or 1.12 version, that's what I went in for. So that's Mezco, I believe. Their version comes out in spring next year, I believe it is. But he has a hand that's holding the head of Cyborg Superman. He has the bearded black suit Return and mullet-headed Return. So I was like, you know what? That's two figures in one. I really liked when, you know, they reconned the New 52 and brought my Superman back, and he had the cool-ass beard, even though he had a little turd kid that, you know, was a little crumb snatcher, a little snot goblin, so to speak now. He was my Superman. So he returned. I dug that look, so I bought that figure to have both. So, that being said, let's give a few shout-outs. Let's give a shout-out to our boys at Geek Network. Thank you for having us. Thank you for making us part of your family. We made a big announcement this week about that. So, hey, you can catch us here everywhere you catch us, plus on geeknetwork.com. So, catch us there. Give a big shout-out and love to our sponsor, The Zone Collectibles, 305 Main Street, Tifton, Georgia. Hit them up for all your nerdy needs where they do Unity through Community Fandoms Unite, as well as their other platform, Spotlight Media. You can catch us on there, on the Roku and the Fire TV. And while you're catching us, go hit our YouTube channel. We have hit our first subscriber goal, and we're gearing up to go to our second subscriber goal. So when we do, we're going to have another massive giveaway, just like we did with our first one. So you know if the first one was as big as it was, the second one's going to be twice as big. So be on the lookout for that right there when that happens. And while you're showing us some love, show our boy Big Rob of Big Rob's House of Entertainment and No Chinese Food a little love. He is also on the YouTube and soon to be possibly in other places. So he's got some big things coming for you guys that you'll see pretty shortly. Catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And with that being said, don't be sleeping on the dead man, because you will rest in peace.